Hello, and welcome back to Homemade Horizons. My name is Alex, and thank you for joining us for the first ever episode of Hype Train. It's going to be a new segment that I'm doing just to hype up the next game I'm playing on stream. So just in case you didn't catch it in the title, we're going to be playing XCOM Chimera Squad. So if any of you have played the XCOM games before, pretty much it's a tactical game about saving the world from an alien invasion. And so we've gone through 2 XCOMs in the last couple of years. They've been great, but there's something different about this XCOM, and you can probably tell by right there. We got aliens as allies. So that's one big thing that I'm really hyped about. So let's just dive in really quick and talk about some of these alien buddies that we're going to have right up here. And just go through some of their profiles and seeing what they can do. Because usually, you don't get to play as these guys. Usually you're shooting at them or getting shot by them. So there's a couple of these. We have Zephyr. And she is an alien-human hybrid who specializes in mobility and melee attacks. In fact, she is the only one in the franchise to be purely melee attack focus, which would be kind of interesting. She's got one hell of a roundhouse kick, and it'll be fun to play as a melee only character, so I'm excited to play as her. We also have Axiom, which is a Muton, specializes in being, well, a Muton, giant hulking green alien thing that can destroy cover and probably just beat the living life out of most of the enemies. So I'm pretty excited to be a Muton, or play as a Muton on, I'm not going to be a Muton. But anyway, you can see this guy right up here. He's a sectoid. Verge the sectoid. Sectoids have always been a giant pain in the ass to deal with. Moving your guys out of cover, mind controlling them. So I'm equally interested to play as a sectoid. I think that'd be really cool. Next up, we have Torque, the Viper, specializing in being a Snake Lady. And honestly, you had me at Snake Lady in the game, but I'm also excited to spit poison for like damage over time effects and like constricting enemies to make sure that they do not act. So I think it'd be really cool to go through that. Also, we have Cherub, which looks like it's the male hybrid, alien-human hybrid of the group. And he's got some kind of force field / riot shield, which I think would be really cool. Obviously, made to be a tank in the front. And there's like 4 or 5 other humans. You got like 11 people in this squad, so it has kind of like an Avengers feel to it. You get the squad of ultimate badasses together, and you go ahead and try to save the world, but you're saving the world a little bit differently in this one. So let me just paint you a picture of what's going on in XCOM Chimera Squad, because you've already saved the world from an alien invasion, but now aliens and humans kind of have to pick up the pieces. There's a lot of mind control that went on, and there's some aliens left on Earth that are trying to cohabitate with humans, and humans trying to cohabitate with the aliens. Operative word is trying. So evidently there are some people who are not quite down with this and are trying to disrupt the peace in general. So in Chimera Squad, you're playing as peacekeepers. You're playing as like a police force to make sure that these rogue agencies or factions don't just topple all of society. So I think it's going to be a little bit different. Well, I don't think. It is going to be a little bit different than the usual XCOM formula. But that's something that excites me, because played a fair bit of XCOM in the last few years. So there's a few things that are really different. First of all, breach mode. So you actually get to tactically choose how you're going to tackle your missions. So it's kind of like there's some kind of bank heist, or if there's some kind of mission that you have to go in and breach a room or breach a stronghold. You get to choose where you set up your your teammates and how they're going to infiltrate and get into this place. And each place has some kind of advantage and disadvantage. So it's a little bit more different than what you usually got in XCOM 1 and 2 when you're kind of plopped down in an area. And there wasn't too much variance. But that looks really interesting. A big thing, too, is turn order. You actually have to alternate between your Chimera Squad and your enemies. So it's one of your guys, one of their guys, and so on and so forth. And so the round order is going to be very different. So I'm really excited to play around that and see how that affects the formula. And I think it's just going to be making some varied gameplay that we haven't experienced before in this type, or in at least this franchise. One of the things that there's no permadeath either. So if you lose a soldier and they bleed out in one of the missions, you have to restart that mission over, which is good and bad because, you know, it's got some ups, like you don't lose the guy you've been investing so many hours in. The downs is, I feel like that was a little bit of the charm to XCOM, is that like every single decision mattered, because if I screwed something up, you know, this guy that I've been investing a lot of hours in could die permanently and I gotta start over from scratch. So it really made for some like nail-biting situations, but it also made for some very frustrating situations that made the game stressful to play. So I'm excited to see how this works out and how this affects the gameplay. You can still game over though if enough factions in the game like tear down society and just make it the city a very, very chaotic place. You can game over because, like I said, you're a police squad now. You're trying to maintain order in this city, and if you fail at that and society just crumbles, you game over. So it's going to be a very different type of game for XCOM, which I'm excited about. But it also feels very hopeful. There's a lot of games that, you know, like you feel like you're going up against insurmountable odds. It's kind of like hopeless, and no matter what you do, like you're just painting the world a slightly brighter shade of gray. But you know, the world's still pretty terrible. But I feel like the way that they're setting up this campaign, it makes me want to fight for a better future for humanity, even though I know it's not real. I know it's fictional, but the fact that we're all working together to make the best society possible is a really hopeful message, and something sometimes I wish that we could do in real life. Is just all get together and fight for the betterment of society and putting away our differences. So that's kind of what draws me to it. It also has a very Mass Effect feel to it, where you get to get your alien crew members together alongside the human crew members. Kind of a soft spot for me. Plus, Snake Lady, you had me at Snake Lady, really. That was your selling point, and I fell for it. So whoever is in charge of the marketing there, great job. You get a thumbs up for me. So join us this weekend as we start a playthrough of Chimera Squad. Make sure to subscribe to YouTube, as we're most likely going to be posting everything on YouTube or going live via YouTube. So that's the place to catch me for the next couple of weeks, play through XCOM Chimera Squad. Thanks you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the horizon.